Beloved soul, I bid you draw near and listen, for the words I speak are not mine alone, but echo from an ancient place, from a wellspring that does not dry, from a voice that has called across centuries to awaken those who slumber. In the stillness of the night, when the world grows quiet and the noise of men fades into silence, there is a whisper that does not belong to this earth. It is the sound of eternity knocking at the fragile doors of mortal hearts. And though many dismiss it, though countless mock it, that voice still calls, waiting for those who have ears to hear. I speak to you now as one clothed not in robes of power, nor crowned with earthly wisdom, but as a servant trembling before the fire of truth. I have walked the streets of men. I have seen their laughter and their pride, their boasting and their blindness. And I have seen also the hidden tears, the secret fears, the shadows that creep upon the edges of their joy. And in the midst of this world so confident in its machines, its empires and its wealth, heaven has chosen to speak again, not through thunder that splits the mountains, not through lightning that blinds the sky, but through a quiet summons carried by the hand of the Mother of Mercy. O children of the earth, do you not feel it? The air itself grows heavy with expectancy. The days seem to hasten, as though the very hours are running to their appointed end. And now, in this sacred season, there is a date carved not by human hands, but by divine decree. September 19th, in the year that draws so near, is marked not as an ordinary day, but as a trumpet blast for nations. The calendar of men cannot erase it, the will of kings cannot delay it, and the pride of skeptics cannot silence it. For heaven has spoken, and when heaven speaks, the earth trembles. Many will scoff. They will say, "These are but storms of nature, shifts of climate, the turning of seasons." They will cloak the warning in the garments of science and dismiss it as coincidence. But I tell you, beloved, not all storms are born of winds alone. Not all shakings come from the restless earth. There are times when creation itself becomes the tongue of God, when the seas and skies conspire together to preach a sermon no man can deny. And such an hour is upon us. Look back, and you will see the scars upon the month of September. Fires have devoured forests, hurricanes have ravaged shores, towers once thought unshakable have crumbled in clouds of dust. The world has bled and mourned beneath the weight of this season, and still men hardened their hearts, saying, "It is only the way of nature." But I tell you now, September has become a mirror of divine mercy and divine wrath, a double-edged sword where judgment and grace walk hand in hand. The days that once passed unnoticed now carry echoes of eternity. And this year the trumpet is louder, the hand heavier, the call more urgent. Beloved, imagine with me the trembling of the heavens. Dark clouds gather not as chance but as messengers. The sea roars not only in anger but in grief. The earth shakes as though weary of bearing the sins of men. Lights flash across the sky, not bound by natural rhythm, but tolling like bells of heaven, calling to every heart, "Awake, awake, for the hour is near." This is no fable spun to frighten children, nor an invention of restless minds. This is the whisper of the Blessed Mother, the mantle of Mary stretching over her children, urging them to prepare before the day breaks, and it is too late. Do not let your heart grow cold. Do not turn aside with mockery. For those who laugh now will weep later when the storm comes and they have no refuge. I speak not to stir fear, but to stir faith. I speak not to bring despair, but to bring warning, that warning may become salvation. For the Lord does not delight in the ruin of nations, but in their turning. Every trumpet blast is not the sound of destruction alone, but of invitation. Come back to me, O lost children. Come back while there is still time. And so I call you, not as a preacher of doom, but as a watchman upon the walls. I see the clouds forming, I hear the thunder rolling from afar, and I cannot remain silent. Woe to me if I do not speak, woe to me if I do not cry out. For the blood of silence is heavier than the ridicule of men. Beloved, gather your heart now, bend your knees before the unseen throne, and hear what the Spirit is saying through the voice of the Mother. There is a day set apart, and that day is September 19th. It shall not pass as the other days. It shall not dissolve into memory, like dust upon the wind. For on that day 4 nations shall tremble together, and the earth shall testify that man cannot build towers high enough to escape the voice of God. America shall feel it, Canada shall feel it, the United Kingdom shall feel it, and even across the waters, the Philippines shall feel it. Different in form, yet woven together in one tapestry of warning, one chorus of shaking, one melody of mercy. And why, beloved, why do I speak with such fire? Because heaven itself has placed this burden upon me. I sought release, I prayed for silence, I wept before the throne and said, Lord, must I say this? And the answer came not in wrath, but in love. Yes, speak, for the children must be warned. And so I speak, not of my own desire, not to draw followers or fame, but because to remain silent would be to betray the trust given. Hear me, therefore. This is not the hour to slumber. This is not the season to drown in the comforts of a fading world. The houses built upon sand will fall when the flood comes. The pride of men shall be swallowed like chaff in the wind. Yet for those who prepare, for those who heed the call, there is shelter, there is hope, there is a mantle stretched wide enough to cover every trembling soul. Think upon the ark of Noah, mocked by the crowd, ridiculed by the wise, yet standing as the only refuge when the rains came down. Think upon the blood upon the doorposts in Egypt, dismissed by skeptics, yet shining as the mark of deliverance when the angel passed by. So it is now. A mantle waits to cover, a candle waits to burn, a prayer waits to shield. But who will take hold of it? Who will humble themselves before the storm breaks? Beloved, I plead with you, do not turn away, for the storm is not far off. It has already gathered strength. The clouds are already rolling, and when the winds rise, it will be too late to build foundations. The time to prepare is now. The time to bend your heart is today. September 19th is not written to terrify, but to invite. It is both judgment and mercy, both warning and hope. If you hear this voice, do not harden your heart, for the trumpet is sounding, and its echo will not be silenced until every soul has chosen its path. So come, walk with me into this revelation. Do not fear the journey, for though the shadows loom, the light of grace is greater still. We are not abandoned children stumbling in the dark. We are beloved ones, called, pursued, embraced. and the one who calls us does not call us to ruin, but to life. His hand is stretched out still, his mantle spread wide, his mercy unending. But the hour is short, the day is appointed, and the trumpet is already at the lips of the angel. Will you not hear it? Will you not prepare? Will you not take this moment to whisper, "I am ready"? For such a confession, spoken in faith, rises like incense before the throne. Such a word spoken in trembling is stronger than the pride of empires. Heaven does not require the riches of kings, only the humility of hearts. And now, as this revelation begins, let every soul who hears join together, declaring not in fear, but in faith, "We are ready, we are awake, we will not be swept away." Beloved, the beginning has been spoken, the trumpet has sounded, and what follows will shake the nations. Yet even in the shaking, love will not be absent, mercy will not be silent, and hope will not be extinguished. Prepare, then, for the story unfolds, and the hour is at hand. Beloved, let your heart be still for a moment, and let the gentle breath of heaven wash over you. For the words that follow are not sent to crush, but to heal, not to weigh you down, but to lift you higher into a place of peace. Feel within yourself a quiet river flowing, a current of holy energy that does not destroy but restores, that does not weaken but strengthens. These are words that come not from the rage of judgment, but from the mercy of the Eternal, poured out like oil upon the wounds of a weary world. September, dear soul, has always carried both shadow and light. Look back upon the pages of history, and you will see that the 9th month is written with scars and also with promises. It is a month that bears memories of towers falling, of fires consuming forests, of storms rising with furious voices. Yet at the same time, September has also been a season of awakening, when men and women, struck by tragedy, rediscovered compassion, rediscovered the embrace of community, rediscovered the healing touch of God. The month that wounds is also the month that calls to deeper faith. The same season that brings trembling also releases renewal. Hear me now, for this is the mystery. September is like a doorway with two sides. On one side is the abyss, the trials that shake, the storms that strip away pride. But on the other side is everlasting hope, healing grace, and a surge of divine energy that restores what the storm sought to break. The two are bound together. Judgment is not the end, but the beginning of mercy. The shaking is not destruction, but purification. And the call of heaven, though it may sound fierce, is always rooted in love. Do not let the voices of the world deceive you, saying, "This is only nature, this is only climate, this is only chance." The winds and the waters, the fire and the trembling earth are not blind accidents. They are instruments carrying messages older than empires, older than nations. The prophets of old heard them. The saints of ages past recognized them. And now, in this generation, the same voice resounds again, a voice calling not to despair, but to healing, not to fear, but to courage, not to emptiness, but to fullness of life. Beloved, imagine the forest aflame, the trees cracking and bending under the heat. To the world it seems like ruin, but in the secret design of creation, fire clears the ground so that new life may spring. Seeds long buried are awakened, flowers unseen are given birth. So too the storms of September. They appear to wound, but they prepare the soil of human hearts for a greater harvest of compassion, of humility, of faith. When the floods recede, what remains is not only wreckage, but also the chance to build anew on stronger ground. When the winds pass, the silence that follows is filled with a healing stillness, a holy energy that restores and refreshes. Consider the lives of men. Have you not seen how often suffering becomes the teacher, how wounds become the doorways through which grace enters? A man broken by loss becomes tender to the pain of others. A woman who has endured storms becomes a pillar of strength for those who tremble. The very things that once threatened to destroy become the very things that release hidden reservoirs of energy, of faith, of love. So it shall be in September. The scars of history are not chains, but lessons. The shaking of nations is not an end, but a call to rise higher, to rediscover the sacred and the eternal. The voice of the Blessed Mother speaks softly, even amid the roar of storms. Children, do not be afraid. The fire that burns will also purify. The winds that howl will also carry seeds of renewal. The waters that rise will also cleanse the earth. Trust, and you will see not only judgment, but healing, not only shaking, but renewal. Her words are not heavy with despair, but radiant with energy. They are words that carry light, words that strengthen the weary, words that turn trembling into courage. O beloved soul, do not harden your heart. Let these words be like balm upon your wounds, like a healing salve upon the bruises of your soul. The world will laugh, the scoffers will say, "It is nonsense, it is nothing." But the Spirit whispers, "Listen, be ready, receive." For even a small act of faith, whispering, "Amen," lighting a candle, bowing the head in prayer, creates ripples of energy that rise like incense to heaven. Do not underestimate the small, for it is through the small that the eternal releases great power. High energy flows from faith, dear listener. When your lips form the prayer of the Rosary, when your heart bows in humility, you release into the atmosphere a vibration that darkness cannot withstand. This is not superstition, but mystery. The mystery that prayer carries healing, the mystery that belief releases strength, the mystery that love can shield against storms. And so the call of September is not merely to fear, but to engage, to participate in the great flow of divine energy that protects, renews, and heals. Look to the heavens. Have you not seen strange lights dancing in the skies? The world dismisses them as anomalies, but to the eye of faith they are bells tolling from eternity, reminders that the hour is near. Look to the earth. Have you not seen the quaking, the floods, the fires? They are not accidents but signals. They are the handwriting of heaven across the canvas of creation, not meant to crush but to awaken, not meant to destroy but to heal. For every storm that comes carries also a hidden grace. Every shaking of the earth is also a loosening of the chains that bind human hearts. Every fire that burns is also a refining of faith. And when the smoke clears, when the silence falls, what remains is the unshakable truth, that love endures, that faith prevails, that mercy triumphs over judgment. Beloved, I invite you to breathe deeply, even now. Inhale the peace that surpasses understanding. Exhale the fears that seek to bind you. Let the energy of heaven fill you, lifting you beyond despair into hope, beyond weakness into strength. For these words are not meant only to warn, but to heal. They are streams of living water flowing into dry places, rivers of grace soaking into weary souls. Do not walk away from this call. Do not dismiss it as madness. For the healing energy carried within it is for you. It is the touch of heaven reaching through the veil of storms to rest upon your shoulder, to whisper in your ear, "You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are loved." And so September stands before us, both terrible and tender, both fierce and healing. It is a month of wounds, yes, but also a month of renewal. It is a season of storms, yes, but also a season of grace. Those who hear will be sheltered. Those who trust will be strengthened. Those who pray will be lifted up on wings of peace. Beloved soul, let this truth sink deep into you. The shaking is not your end, it is your beginning. The wounds are not curses, but invitations to healing. The storms are not wrath, but the doorway to energy greater than you have ever known. And the Blessed Mother stands, arms open, mantle spread, calling, "Come, my child. Come into the shelter of love. Come into the healing flow of grace." And so I leave you this part of the message. Fear not the wounds of September, for they will open the way to a greater mercy. Fear not the storms, for within them lies the energy of renewal. Fear not the shaking, for it will awaken you to the only foundation that cannot fall. Take courage. Be still. Receive the healing, for the trumpet has sounded, and its song is not only of judgment, but of love. Beloved, hear me now with an open heart, for the words that unfold are not bound to ink or air, but are living currents of spirit, flowing into your soul with healing light and high energy. Do not be troubled as you listen. Allow each word to be as a gentle hand upon your shoulder, as a flame of comfort warming the cold corners of your heart. For what is spoken here is both warning and healing, both shaking and strengthening, both trembling and triumph. 4 nations have been named. 4 nations are written into this prophecy, not as accidents of geography, but as signs upon the canvas of history. The United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the Philippines, so different in culture, in language, in their path upon the earth, yet joined together in one great moment, as though heaven itself has drawn a circle around them to declare, "You are bound together, you share one destiny." And the shaking that comes to them is not confined to their borders, for their fates are linked to the world. Beloved, ponder the United States, a land that has risen to be a mighty power, a nation that towers over the earth with wealth, with armies, with inventions that pierce the sky and the stars. Yet in its strength, pride has swelled. In its abundance, faith has waned. The storm that will come upon its southern and eastern shores will not merely be a hurricane of wind and water, but a storm of humility, a reminder that even the strongest towers fall before the breath of God. Yet within this shaking there is healing. For as the winds roar, communities will gather, neighbors will reach out, and the high energy of compassion will flow where once there was division. What seemed like destruction will become the seedbed of renewal, the soil where faith may blossom again. Now look northward to Canada, that vast and gentle land, often thought safe, often thought untouched by the troubles of the world. But even here the earth will tremble. Even here fires will rage in places once calm. This too is no accident. It is as though the very ground groans, crying out for remembrance of its Creator. The healing hidden in this shaking is the reminder that no land is truly secure apart from the shelter of the Almighty. And when the fires burn, when the earth quakes, hearts will turn to one another, energy of unity rising like a shield. The people will discover that their true foundation is not soil beneath their feet, but faith within their hearts. Cross the ocean and behold the United Kingdom. Once an empire that ruled seas and nations, now an island wrestling with storms, with floods, with economic trembling. Its pride in commerce and tradition will be tested. Waters will rise where men thought they were safe, and markets will reel like ships caught in tempest. Yet in this shaking, beloved, there is also healing. For when the floods pass and the noise fades, what will remain is the rediscovery of community, the embrace of neighbor to neighbor, the gentle energy of compassion that outlasts the collapse of coins. This island nation will learn that its greatest treasure is not in gold or trade, but in faith, in family, in the eternal hope that cannot drown. And turn now to the Philippines, that land of islands surrounded by waters both calm and fierce. Here faith has long been deep, prayers rising like incense from homes and churches across the land. But even here, storms of unprecedented fury will arrive, testing the steadfastness of that devotion. Typhoons will roar, and the earth will tremble beneath. Yet in this trial, healing will be revealed. For faith that is tested shines brighter, and the energy of prayer will become a shield, a mantle that guards the hearts of those who do not surrender to despair. Out of the fury will rise testimonies of hope, stories of families kneeling together while the winds howled, and finding in that moment the gentle touch of God, the healing embrace of the Blessed Mother. Beloved, do you not see? These four nations are not chosen at random. They are mirrors for all humanity. The United States represents power and pride, Canada represents assumed safety, the United Kingdom represents wealth and tradition, the Philippines represents faith under trial. When they are shaken together, the world will see itself, for every soul shares in these same struggles: pride, false security, material trust, and tested faith. And just as these nations are called to awakening, so every heart across the earth is called to renewal. Scoffers will laugh. They will say, "This is fear-mongering, this is superstition." But when the storms break, when the fires burn, when the ground quakes, they will discover that laughter cannot protect, and mockery cannot shield. Yet those who heard, those who prepared, those who lifted prayers with sincere hearts will find themselves sheltered by a mantle unseen, a covering of healing energy that no storm can pierce. Their homes will shine like beacons in the night. Their hearts will rest with peace that passes understanding. Beloved, let me tell you a vision entrusted to me. I saw homes clinging to the earth as whirlwinds tore at them, families crying as waves surged, and I saw other homes shining with radiant light, glowing as though surrounded by unseen angels, untouched though the storm raged outside. And I knew in that moment the difference was not in the wood of the house, nor the stones of the walls, but in the faith of those within. Those who prayed were shielded, those who trusted were strengthened, those who scoffed were left to the mercy of their doubts. Do you not feel the energy rising even as these words are spoken? It is not a heavy burden pressing you down, but a healing current lifting you up. urging you to believe, to prepare, to awaken. Take hold of this energy, beloved. Do not let despair steal it. Do not let cynicism quench it. For the Blessed Mother whispers still, seal your home with prayer, light the candle of faith, speak the words of loyalty, and you will be sheltered. These instructions are not empty rituals, but channels of healing energy, ways in which heaven marks those who belong to mercy. Think upon it. A single flame burning in the darkness can be the sign that angels recognize, the mark that says, "This home is under the mantle of the Mother." A whispered prayer, "I am ready," carries weight in eternity, more powerful than the armies of nations. Small acts of faith open wide the doors of heaven, releasing streams of healing that pour into homes, into families, into nations. Do not despise the small, for it is in the small that God reveals His greatness. Beloved, I say again, the shaking of these four nations is not punishment, but invitation. It is the divine hand breaking the shell of pride, tearing down false securities, loosening the grip of material illusions, and strengthening faith under fire. It is a call to healing. It is the release of high energy that awakens the spirit, that renews what has grown weary, that breathes life into what was dying. And those who respond will find themselves not crushed, but lifted, not broken, but healed. So now, beloved soul, let your heart respond. Whisper even now, "I am ready." Let those words be your healing. Let them be the key that unlocks peace within you. For when the winds roar, when the waters rise, when the fires burn, you will not stand alone. You will be sheltered. You will be healed. You will be filled with an energy not your own, but flowing from the throne of grace, carried by the mantle of love. And so, as the prophecy unfolds, know this truth. 4 nations shall tremble, but in their trembling healing shall be revealed. The storm is coming, yes, but so is the renewal. The shaking will arrive, but so will the embrace. Do not fear, beloved. Prepare, believe, and receive the high energy of heaven's mercy. For the trumpet has sounded, and the hour is at hand. Beloved, lean in closer, for the word that flows now is not only a vision of shaking, but also of comfort. Not only a prophecy of storms, but of healing, high energy, and peace for those who choose to believe. Take courage, and let your heart be lifted. For even as the darkness gathers, there is a mantle stretched wide. There is a shield not forged by hands, but by faith. There is a light that no tempest can extinguish. The Blessed Mother has spoken with gentleness and urgency. Seal your homes with prayer. These words are not poetry alone, but a call to action, a path of healing that carries power greater than stone walls or iron gates. When prayer rises, it becomes a fragrance before heaven, a shield that no storm can pierce. Imagine a house surrounded not by bricks only, but by fire from on high, an unseen wall glowing with divine energy. Such is the strength of prayer. Such is the mantle stretched over the faithful. Beloved, do not despise the candle. Do not overlook the rosary. The world mocks these things as superstition, yet heaven calls them weapons of light. A single flame burning in the night, blessed and lifted with faith, becomes a beacon to the angels, a signal that says, "This home belongs to mercy." The rosary prayed with sincerity is not mere repetition, but a sword in the spirit, cutting through the gloom, releasing streams of healing into hearts and homes. Even the smallest act, a whispered Amen, a bowed head, a sign of the cross, unleashes waves of high energy that repel the shadows of despair. And yet, beloved, scoffers will come. They always have. They mocked Noah as he built the ark. They ridiculed Lot as he warned of the fire to come. They laughed at Jeremiah when he cried out in the streets of Jerusalem. So too they will laugh now. They will say, "What is the power of prayer against the winds? What is the strength of candles against the flood?" And they will mock until the storm knocks upon their own door, until the waters sweep through their own streets. Then they will weep. Then they will knock upon the doors of the faithful, seeking what they once despised. But the wise will already be sealed, the faithful already sheltered, the homes already marked with light. Do not, beloved, let fear rule your heart when you hear these things, for the promise is clear. Those who prepare shall be sheltered, those who believe shall be strengthened. You are not called to tremble like reeds in the wind, but to stand firm like oaks planted by the streams of living water. High energy flows through you when you believe. Healing fills you when you bow in prayer. Peace covers you when you cling to the mantle of the Mother. Let me speak of the vision once more. I saw families crying as floods surrounded them, terror in their eyes as whirlpools dragged them under. And I saw other families gathered in prayer, their homes glowing with radiant light. Around them was storm, but within them was peace. Around them was destruction, but within them was healing. The difference was not in the walls of the house, but in the faith of the heart. One trusted in wealth, in science, in pride, and fell. The other trusted in prayer, in humility, in God, and was sheltered. Beloved, choose well which path you will walk. And do not forget this: the storms are not only external, they rage also within the human soul. Fear is a flood, doubt is a tempest, despair is a fire that consumes from within. But the same weapons, the rosary, the candle, the whispered prayer, are shields for the soul as much as for the home. When you take these into your hands with faith, you drive back the storm inside. You release healing energy that soothes wounds unseen. You awaken strength you did not know you carried. I remember a night long ago when a storm howled around me, the winds tearing at the roof, thunder rolling like hammers upon the sky. The power failed. The house grew dark. Fear rose like water in my chest. In that moment, trembling, I cried out to Mary. And suddenly there came a stillness, a peace that wrapped itself around me like a blanket. The storm still roared outside, but within there was calm. It was as if the house itself was covered by her mantle. That night I learned the truth. The promises of heaven are not abstract. They are living. They are real. They are healing. Beloved, take this testimony into your heart, for what was true for me will be true for you. The mantle is for all who ask. The healing energy is for all who believe. The peace is for all who bow in humility. Do not think it too small a thing. Do not think it too late. For the storms that test the nations are also opportunities for grace. The winds that howl are also voices calling men back to God. The fire that burns is also a refining flame, purging pride, awakening love. And now, beloved, I urge you, prepare. Do not wait for the storm to knock upon your door. Seal your home with prayer now. Gather your family. Speak words of faith aloud. Light the candle, pray the rosary, lift your hearts together. These are not empty rituals, but living acts that release streams of healing and high energy into your dwelling. Even now, as you listen, the angels are ready, the mantle is spread, the shield is waiting. Scoffers will call you foolish. Let them, for on the day of shaking it will not be their laughter that saves them, but faith. Their mocking will not stand as a wall against the flood, but your prayer will. Their pride will not shield their children, but your rosary will. Their doubt will not calm their hearts, but your faith will release peace like a river, healing like the morning sun. And know this, the storms will pass. They always do. But what remains after them is what matters. Will you be left with ruins or with radiant light? Will your home be broken, or will it shine as a beacon in the night? The answer is not written by the winds, beloved. It is written by your choice today. Choose faith, and you choose healing. Choose prayer, and you choose peace. Choose humility, and you choose the high energy of grace that no storm can quench. Therefore, I call you once more. Whisper now, even where you sit. I am ready. Let those words be a shield around you, a healing stream within you, a burst of holy energy that strengthens your heart. Say it not in fear, but in faith. Write it upon your lips, carve it into your soul. For when the shaking comes, heaven will remember. When the storm roars, angels will see. When the fire burns, mercy will cover you. Beloved, take courage. The scoffers will laugh, but the faithful will shine. The storms will rage, but the sheltered will rest. The earth will quake, but those who stand upon the rock will not be moved. Let this be your peace, your healing, your high energy. You are not alone. You are covered, you are loved. You are guarded beneath the mantle of the Mother and the mercy of the Lord. And so the word is given. Prepare, believe, be healed. For the shaking is near, but so too is the renewal. The storm will come, but so too will the light. And in that light, beloved, you shall stand, unshaken, radiant, and at peace. Beloved soul, let us now journey to the end of this vision, not with trembling only, but with hope, not with fear only, but with healing light that flows like a river from the throne of mercy. For the storms that have been spoken of are not the final word. No, the final word belongs to love. The final word belongs to grace. The final word belongs to healing that restores the broken and raises the weary with high energy of divine renewal. Hear this clearly. Calamity is never the end for those who believe. When the winds fade and the waters recede, when the fire dies down and the trembling earth becomes still, a strange quiet covers the land. It is not the silence of death, but the pause of rebirth. It is the stillness in which creation itself seems to breathe again, whispering to mankind, "This is your moment. Rise again. Begin anew. Take my hand and walk in the light." In that silence, neighbors will emerge from the ruins, not as strangers, but as brothers and sisters. Families once divided will rediscover each other, kneeling together before simple altars built in kitchens and living rooms, lifting prayers with sincerity that shakes heaven itself. Across the nations, instead of arrogance, there will rise humility. instead of greed, generosity, instead of pride, compassion. This is the healing that follows the shaking. This is the hidden mercy written within the storms. Beloved, take courage. The world will see collapsed walls, shattered cities, broken economies, but heaven will see shining lamps of faith. Out of ashes, love will bloom. Out of wreckage, hope will rise. Out of despair, a new energy of unity will flow like a mighty river. And all this is the work of God, turning what men feared into instruments of salvation. Consider this truth. Storms do not come to destroy what is eternal. They come to strip away illusions so that the eternal may be revealed. The shaking is a surgery of the soul, cutting away the cancer of pride, removing the poison of arrogance, opening space for healing grace to enter. And when the surgery is done, when the wounds begin to close, the heart that remains beats stronger, freer, alive with high energy that no storm can quench. Beloved, do you see the design? 4 nations will tremble, but through their trembling the entire world will learn. America will learn humility. Canada will learn that safety is not found in borders, but in God. The United Kingdom will learn that wealth cannot be trusted when the waters rise. The Philippines will learn that faith tested is faith made radiant. And all humanity will learn together that only love endures, only faith stands, only mercy heals. And beyond September, another sign will appear. The heavens themselves will declare it. A light will shine across the sky, undeniable, inescapable. No man will be able to ignore it. And when that light comes, every soul will be confronted with the truth. God is calling, heaven is reaching, love is pursuing. It will not be a light of terror, but of revelation, a final trumpet of invitation. Beloved, prepare your heart, for that day will be like no other. Let this be your response. Do not hide, do not run, do not scoff. Instead, open your heart now. Speak with your lips, I am ready. Write it in your soul, I am sheltered. Proclaim it in your home. My house is under the mantle of the Mother. These confessions are not empty. They are healing streams, living waters that flow into your life, strengthening you with divine energy. And as you prepare, remember this promise. The mantle of Mary will cover those who pray. The mercy of the Lord will surround those who believe. The angels of heaven will guard those who confess faith openly. Even as storms roar, your heart can rest in peace. Even as fires burn, your soul can glow with healing light. Even as the ground shakes, your spirit can stand unshaken. This is the miracle of faith. So, beloved, lift your head. Do not walk in dread, but in confidence. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, called, covered, and loved. The future may tremble, but you need not. For your foundation is not sand, but rock, not pride, but humility, not fear, but healing faith. And upon this foundation you shall stand. Now I ask you, as one voice among many, let us declare together, we are ready. Let this confession be heard not only in heaven, but across the earth. Write it openly, share it boldly, proclaim with your life that you belong to light, not to darkness, to hope, not to despair, to healing, not to ruin. And as you finish this message, I invite you, yes, you, beloved soul, to take a step of faith even here and now. Leave your testimony in the comments. Write the words, "I am ready," as a sign of your loyalty, as a confession of your faith. Let your voice join the chorus of many, rising like incense before the throne. And if these words have brought healing to your soul, if this message has lifted you, I invite you also to give it wings, like, share, and subscribe, so that others may hear the same call, so that more hearts may be awakened, more homes sealed, more souls healed. Beloved, the time is short, but the mercy is vast. The storms may roar, but the healing is greater. The earth may shake, but the love of heaven is unshakable. Take courage, stand firm, be healed, and let the world know the trumpet has sounded, and we are ready.